So our next equation is r equals 3 sine theta. So again, we are going to use the equation, the one with sine in it. X equals r sine, y equals r sine theta. So, what we know is that if r equals 3 sine theta and y equals r sine theta, we want to figure out a way to replace the sine theta so it's no longer there in order to turn this into a rectangular equation. So if we come back over here to this equation, if we divide both sides by 3, we get r over 3 equals sine theta. So that's what we're going to replace the sine theta with over here. So we end up with y equals r squared over 3. So now we want to be able to replace that r squared so we again have more x's and y's. So we remember that x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So we're going to replace r squared with x squared plus y squared, and that's all over 3. So this is looking pretty much like a rectangular equation because we have just x's and y's, but we're going to make it a little bit more pretty. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So I have 3y equals x squared plus y squared. And then to make this look more rectangular, I'm just going to set everything equal to 0. So x squared plus y squared minus 3y equals 0. And that is my rectangular equation for r equals 3 sine theta. Here is the next equation, which is r equals 3 over 1 plus cosine theta. Well, we know that x equals r cosine theta. So it would be nice to replace that cosine theta with an x. So in order to do that, we can multiply both sides by 1 plus cosine theta. So we get r times 1 plus cosine theta equals 3. And after distributing the r, we would get r plus r cosine theta equals 3. And we know that r cosine theta equals x. So we get r plus x equals 3. So this is getting pretty close to having a rectangular coordinate, or a rectangular equation, but we still have that r there. We know that x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So do you know what we can replace r with? If you said the square root of x squared plus y squared, then you are correct. That would be what r equals. So let's replace r with the square root of x squared plus y squared. And so we end up with that. So now that doesn't look like a very pretty rectangular coordinate. And so what I'm going to do is move the x to the other side. So now I can square both sides and get rid of that nasty square root that's in my equation. I have to move the x before I square both sides, so I don't have to FOIL this nasty thing. It would be much better to FOIL 3 minus x than it would be to FOIL the square root of x squared plus y squared plus x. So if I square both sides, I end up with x squared plus y squared. equals 9 minus 6x plus x squared. So we get when we move everybody to one side, y squared plus 6x minus 9 equals 0. Oh, I made a mistake. I just saw it. Oh, no, I didn't. We're good.